Alright, so we left off at the flight control panel before I ran out of memory. And so I was saying we could set the heading and the altitude now if we know it, but a lot of times we don't. First officer might still be inside doing paperwork and we don't have the clearance yet and whatnot, so we'll leave it for now and go down to check our standby instruments, and those look good. Gauge the attitude indicator if we need it. If we know the altimeter setting there, we can set it. Alright, at this point we go down to our landing gear panel. While it's not at this point in our book, we can test the anti-skid, and it's probably a good time to test it while the aircraft is still chocked. So I'm going to go ahead. The aircraft is chocked. I'm going to release the parking brake, and then go to test here. Okay. Alright, that's a good test, and then I'm going to go ahead and reset the parking brake. There it is, okay. So that's good. We can do the gear bay overheat test.
Gear bay overheat.
The fail test. Okay. We'll test the clacker. Okay, we can do the lamp test. And none of the aftermarket stuff will be on test 1. And then of course the power fuel switch needs to be selected in order for the APU fuel pump light to come on. And then we'll test number 2. This is the sim, so we don't have any of the cargo stuff in here. Also, you notice the lights next to the mode selectors correspond with each of the channels. Right now only the FCC2 light is on. And then, of course, you'll see on channel 2, the stall light is on the pilot side does not come on. And the fire and push switches in the bottles come on with the fire detection test, not the lamp test. So, good tests there. These are dark and guarded. That's good. And the pitch disconnect and the roll disconnect, those are in good. Thrust levers should be in shut off, which they are. Okay, we'll go to the thrust reverser panel here. We can arm those already. And our ground lift dumping should be in auto, which it is. And we'll come down here. We can do the TCAS tests. Put myself in traffic. There we go. And select tests.
TCAS system test okay.
Okay, so that is good. And come down here. Radar panel is good for now. Backup tuning unit is in standby, and it should match what's in COM and nav1, and it does. And then FMS tune inhibit is not engaged, so that's good there. And then we do our stab channel. So you can see right now the stab is disengaged, and we're going to engage stab channel 1, and see that stab channel 1 is engaged, and then we'll engage the Mach trim. Okay, and then the pilot is going to test his trim up and down until he hears the clacker there. Okay, then the co-pilot would test his. That's good, and then the co-pilot is going to push and hold his trim disconnect switch there and make sure that the stab trim disengages, which it did. So then we'll go and we'll engage stab channel 2, and we'll re-engage the Mach trim. This time the first officer will go first. does his. Okay, and then he's gonna push his pitch trip disconnect switch, press hold, release. You make sure it disengages, and then now we can engage all of them. And we can see that they're engaged. And at this point, if I want, I can go ahead and set the trim for takeoff, and we see 5.25 is what we need today. So I'll go ahead and set that, and there we go. Okay, so that's good. The CRT and airing fans are normal. Good deal there. And then we'll come up here, APRs and ARM, the test switches are off, the engine speed switches are on. And while it's not in our book at this point, I'll do another test or another look at each of the synoptic pages just to make sure that there's I didn't miss anything. Okay, and so that looks good. We'll go ahead and test the rudder trim. Just make sure it moves in both directions. Okay, set it, make sure, center it, make sure it's green. And same deal with the aileron trim. Just make sure it moves in both directions. And set it back to green. So that's good. We can set up the lights how we want them. We can engage the yaw dampers. So you see right now the yaw dampers is disengaged. Select number 1. Number 1 is now engaged, and select number 2, and now they're both engaged. We can, if we wanted to at this point, test the PA system. I would just select PA, and then make sure that the phone picks up back there. Our source selector panel, everything should be in norm right there. And then finally, this is different than our what's in our aircraft, but we would do at this point, make sure that only one pack is on. I tend, or one or none. I like to do it without any of them on, just so we don't break anything. And we'll close the cabin air shutoff valve, and so there would be a guarded switch there. And it just says shut off, I believe, and that would light up, and then we'd open it back up, guard it good, and then we would do the smoke detection test, which our aircraft only has smoke detectors, no smoke bottles, so we'd have six lights there. But the ICAS indications would be the same, and these are the that's the ICAS indication. You would get
Smoke. Smoke. Smoke.
and you would
Smoke.
get the
Smoke.
and you would get the smoke voice message there. All right, and then at this point, we see how much fuel we have on board. Okay, and that completes the captain's pre-flight procedure.